What is up, everybody? And what is with that? How did we go from this to that? That's what we're going to go over today. That's why we're here. This video is pretty straightforward. I'm not going to do a lot of explanatory. I'm not going to do a ton of that. Really no need for it. It's basically just watch and learn, or just watch and experience whatever you're here for. It's all good. Appreciate you coming back. I already obviously contoured the tip of this block that I glued on, and I just used a jigsaw. I had a little curve template that I used to continue the curve of the board up through the block, and then, rounded it off using the jigsaw. And now it's time to start taking off material. And this is where we're just going to let the music roll, and you can let we're going to let the music roll, and you can watch the chips fly. How about that? I just used one of those fancy metal grinding discs that you can get off Jeff Bezos Megastore, or your local hardware store, whoever has them. They come in a couple different grits. I think this one is like 60 grit, and trust me, it's more than you need. I just watch it. This thing plows material off of here. That corner that I started on, it took an 1/8 inch, 3/16 of an inch off, just like that, right there. Took a 1/4 of an inch off like nothing. They're pretty handy. I enjoy them. Anyway, rock out. We'll catch up here in a minute, and I'll do some more splaining. Okay? Thanks, guys. Hell yes. Check that out. Okay, let's talk about this guy. I'm sure, it needs some explaining on how I made this work. So, to be able to transfer the shape of that board onto the block, I went ahead and used spray paint. I'll probably use something different in the future, but this worked out good. So I sprayed the spray paint on the board, put the block on there, got the shape of the board and the inside, template, so I knew where to drill. So then I drilled holes, and then I put the plugs in, with wood glue, and then I covered that whole thing with epoxy, good structural epoxy, and then I went ahead and pushed it in there, tried to clamp it in, taped it up as good as possible, and let it dry for 24 hours. And that thing might as well be part of the board now. So, okay, just since we got that little explanation bit over with, let's go ahead and finish this video up and show how we shaped the contour of the top of the board. All right, everybody, thank you.